What is good, YouTube family? Welcome or welcome back to Creativity with Purpose, where we create with purpose on purpose. My name is Milani Mdaga, and I'm so glad to have you here. As you can tell by the title of this video today, I have the 25 lessons that I have learned at 25. So if you already enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, share, as well as subscribe, and turn on those notification bells so you know each and every single time that I upload a new video. Now, if you are not new here, then you already know that I'm going to be using my trusted device. So if I do keep looking down from time to time, then it is because I have written down the lessons so that I don't miss out on any, and I will briefly elaborate on each point, but not too much because I don't want this video to be too long. I want it to be sweet, short, and straight to the point. So the first lesson is small habits quietly shape your entire life. This is something that I think I will always cherish, the knowledge that it is the small changes, the small tweaks that we make, whether I'm trying to improve in my lifestyle, whether I'm trying to improve in my community, the people I surround myself with, whatever it is, whether I'm trying to make certain changes, wherever it is, whatever area it is not just the big things, the big changes that make up the progress in the long run. We should never undermine the little tweaks that we make to, the area that we're trying to change in. We should never undermine the little changes that we make daily in our routines. For example, if I'm trying to eat better, and maybe I used to have every burger with a soda, maybe I choose to cut down the soda and just have the burger with water. Or if maybe I eat junk, let's say every single day of the week, and I cut it down to 3 days in the week. Those are small changes that make progress, or that make the bigger progress in the long run. Is that English? It makes, the overall progress in the long run. So don't undermine those small changes, because they do make a huge difference. Sometimes you're not able to just drastically make a big change overnight. The next lesson is it's never too late to start. I love this so much, and whatever age you're at, whatever stage you're at, as long as God woke you up today, you always have an opportunity to start. The next one is peaceful relationships can feel unfamiliar when chaos is all you've known. Listen, this one hit me so hard. When you're used to being in certain toxic situations or toxic environments, whatever it is, when you're so used to that being the norm, when you find something that is, bringing you peace, or when you encounter something that brings you peace, you're not always on fight or flight mode. It is sometimes difficult to get used to it, because you need to unlearn and learn those patterns that are toxic that you were used to before. So just because that new relationship is not, shooting your adrenaline high, sky high, or it's not making you feel uneasy all the time or anxious all the time with those butterflies in your stomach, it doesn't mean that it is something that is not good. It is actually a good sign, contrary to popular belief, because it is something that calms your nervous system, and your body is not used to it. So it takes time to respond in a way that, realizes that, okay, this is okay. I'm safe here. And the next point is a regulated system will benefit you so much. There is, there's not enough talk, and there are not enough conversations about how important it is to have a well-regulated nervous system. And it also links to the previous point that I made. A regulated nervous system will quite literally change your life. There's so much information online that you can learn about when it comes to regulating your nervous system. So I highly recommend that if you haven't, started learning how to do that, I highly recommend that you start today. Okay. The next point is you will never regret investing in taking care of your body. It's just self-explanatory. You will never ever regret, prioritizing your health. The next one is having a relationship with God is the best decision you'll make. I mean, we all know. If you don't know, now you know. Having a relationship with God, knowing God is the beginning of all wisdom, If you get wisdom, make sure that it is having a relationship with God, pursuing a relationship with God. The next point is the older you get, the more valuable genuine friendships become. I cannot stress this enough. I'm just so grateful to be surrounded by community, the community that I'm surrounded by. And it's important to always value them. It's always important to show gratitude. I know there's certain seasons where it's difficult. If you're anything like me, if you're going through something, you kind of don't want to be a burden to other people and you don't want pity. So you kind of like go into your own corner and you want to just deal with it yourself and then come out when you're, better. But a friend once said to me something along the lines of, it's not fair for you to allow me to be there for you in your times where you're happy and everything is going great. It's not fair for you to then not allow me to decide to be there for you in those difficult seasons, those more challenging seasons. And that stuck with me. The next point is comparison truly is the thief of joy. Wanting something that someone else has, or comparing your life's journey to that of someone else's, is not a wise thing to do, because first of all, you have not been called to the same path. Even if maybe you're called to a similar path, no one person's path is exactly the same, So don't compare yourself to that other person's life. You can admire someone's life, you can be inspired by someone's life, but don't put it on a pedestal, don't glorify it. The next one is setting boundaries will protect you from a lot. That is self-explanatory, The next point is growth is never ending and you will constantly change. Embrace it. Self-explanatory to self-explanatory, okay? The next one is perspective changes things. I am like a big advocate for seeing the cup as half full instead of half empty. Obviously, you have seasons where, your mind kind of gets the better of you and, you get stuck in a bit of a rut. But once you get out of it, I'm telling you, having that perspective of seeing the glass as half full instead of focusing on how it's half empty will literally change so many situations for you, and will also give you a sense of gratitude, for all things that happen and all seasons. The next point is rest is not a laziness, it is essential to prevent burnout. So valid. You don't have a point to prove, to impress, or to be validated by others. Understand that taking a step back to fill your cup in order that you may be able to also pour into people from a full cup is very important and very essential, especially in I think quite every industry actually, but more so in industries where you work a lot with people. The next point is don't wait for opportunities, create them. 100%. Then the next one is kindness doesn't cost a thing. 100%. The next one is you aren't responsible for the things that happen, but you are responsible for your reaction. I'm learning this every single day, okay? I am so grateful for the platforms that I have been, blessed with, because I do think that it is a blessing to be able to have community or find community in the online space, and find people who you connect with on, deep levels, and who you can, I guess, do this life thing with, and share this journey with. But I do think that the more and more my platforms have grown, I also have experienced also the bad side of things, with rude people who will comment nasty things, and all of these negative experiences and boundaries that people will cross. But I think that the good outweighs the bad always. And so yeah, but it's something that I'm really learning, to not always give certain things a reaction, and just understand that a lot of people are speaking from a place of projection. The next point is, the way people treat you usually has nothing to do with you. I'll read that again. The way people treat you usually has nothing to do with you. Once again, it's that projection that I was speaking about in my previous point. Don't always take things personal. Understand that misery misery loves company, and also hurt people. So you can either, I think it's also important to view certain things from a place of compassion. I know it's difficult, but even having compassion towards the people who, hurt us, whether intentionally or unintentionally, is a very graceful thing to learn and be able to do. The next point is, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help in anything, in any aspect and area of the things that you need help with. You know how the saying goes, closed mouths don't get fed. Put your pride aside and ask for that help, okay? The next point is, don't despise small beginnings. The next one is, rejection can sometimes be redirection. The next one is, pay attention to your thought patterns. I can't express this enough. Some of them, guys, I know I said I was going to explain or speak on them a bit more, but I think a lot of them just are very like simple and straightforward. So I feel like we can just relate it to whatever aspect and area of our lives that we feel it's speaking or it speaks to. But yeah, I cannot stress the paying attention to our thought patterns enough. Like, your thoughts are so important, and recognizing when to stop negative thoughts and counter them with positive thoughts is very important. Even countering those negative thoughts with scripture, it once again goes back to that perspective, situation that I spoke about, seeing the glass rather as half full, instead of focusing on the fact that it is half empty. The next point is, embrace certain setbacks as stepping stones and not failures. The next one is, execution outweighs intent. Even your good intentions. If you have good intentions and you don't act upon them, what good are those good intentions? It's like that same, I guess, scenario of, if an elephant's foot is on the if an elephant's foot is on a mouse, and you have the good intention to help the mouse, but you don't help the mouse, or you don't act upon those good intentions, does it help the mouse the mouse get out of that situation, or is the elephant's foot still on it? You get the gist. The next point is, value community. I already spoke on this in the beginning. The next point is, always be teachable. I always say this, we will always be students of life. The minute you think you know everything, and know at that moment that you know nothing. It's important to always be teachable, always have a teachable attitude towards life. Don't tell yourself that you know everything. And the last one is, value the gifts of now. Can't stress it enough. It is important for you to show gratitude for the fact that you're here right now. And I think when we think about it, even like take a moment to think about it and let it sink in, we'll realize that each and every single day is a blessing. My mutual on one of my social media platforms said something that really stuck with me. She spoke about something along the lines of, like, really being grateful for today, understanding that yes, I may, by the grace of God, experience another Saturday, but the day today is Saturday, the 16th of May 2026. I will never experience another Saturday, 16th of May 2026. Do you get it? I could experience another Saturday, but not this Saturday on this year. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like when you have that perspective, I feel like for me, for the past few days, ever since I heard it, it has literally changed and shifted my perspective. When I find myself getting to a place of like thinking negatively, obviously for me, my faith is a big part of my life. So countering those negative thoughts with scripture is very important, and also recognizing that, the truth of the fact that today, like, is never going to happen the way it happened again. Do you get it? But yes, that is about it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We have officially come to the end of it. If you did happen to enjoy it, please don't forget to like, comment, share, as well as subscribe, and turn on those notification bells so you know each and every single time that I upload a new video. And until next time, God willingly, it is a goodbye from me. Stay blessed and stay prayed up. Oh, and also in the comment section down below, please let me know what the lessons that you have learned at your age are. And, let's have a conversation. Let's engage, and stay blessed and stay prayed up.